right, y'all, so let's get into it. Let's jump into our systems. Under the network tab, we're going to make sure we have selected the SSH authentication and ensure that we did copy the password out. All right, y'all, so this is the first of many corrections to come. And yeah, I appreciate my brother CJ for pointing this out to me. The way to actually enable SSH on the UDMP is not under the network console, what is it, network configurations, is actually under console settings. And now that I think back to it, when I originally set mine up, I had the same problem. So if you did what I originally have in this video, you will end up with a refusal on port 22 when trying to SSH, and that is because you actually have not turned it on. I'm still not clear, and I have not looked into what the setting under network does, but we're going to focus on getting enabled now. So let me jump into my screen here and show you the proper steps, and then we'll continue on the video after that. So I'm going to log in, and I believe I already copied my password. If not, I am going to copy that right now. Unified password. So I promise you, I felt like such an idiot. I was like, man, dude, next time you do this or you do anything like this, make sure you're actually checking and Googling to make sure you haven't missed a step, since it's been so long since it was actually set up. Anyway, so what we have here is the console settings, not network. So do not click on network. The setting here is not going to get you the outcome you're looking for. And like I showed in my original video, this is actually not what works. So I'm still not sure what this does. So directly access your network devices through SSH authentication. So directly access your network devices through SSH authentication. I am not understanding what that does, but hey, I'm pretty sure. Can you SSH from? Oh, do you think maybe this is SSH, performing SSH from within the console of the router itself? That may be what it is. But anyway, getting back over to what we're actually trying to do. Let's go over here, console settings, and scroll down, and you will see this entry here under advanced where it has SSH. This is what you want to tick, and then you can change your password. That is it. You do this, and now we can continue on with the rest of the video. I appreciate you being patient with me. I apologize for the miscommunication before and any confusion, but hey, let's jump into the rest of the video. Thanks. From here, we'll go ahead and do an SSH into the box. Now, I'm going to show you two versions of this, because if you're running a version like myself, which is 3.2.7, you will be fine with what you see on the screen already. But if you are running anything, I believe, in the 2 version range, then you may have issues, and you'll have to go about using additional arguments for the SSH to work. So let me show you those arguments are. That would be this here. Now I did save mine as an alias UDMP. All right, y'all, so we have that set up. Let's now jump into downloading from the GitHub repository, and we'll use the curl statement that comes from the documentation itself in the repository. And this curl statement will download the content. Now it will run automatically using the bash shell execution, but we can change that. We will change that. At least in my case, I'll change it to do an output file and save it to a shell script on my own system. And from here, I will then set it to be executable. Now let's check the stats out on this. I just want you to see the size of it, and it's a regular file. All right, that's it. So once we do that, we'll set the execution. We'll set it as executable. Let's get that done. All right, once we do that, let's go ahead and run the script, and now we'll verify that the proper directories were created. Now, as I stated, running version 2 or 3, you will be expecting 2 different file structures to be created. One under the /data/split-VPN directory, and then the other under the /etc or /etc/split-VPN as well, or split-VPN. All right, once you do that, let's look at inside of this particular structure. we'll see that we are given quite a few shell scripts that are already there. This comes directly out of the execution we ran earlier. And then from here, we also would create a new directory that they recommend naming after the service being used. For me, that would be Proton VPN. So you have a folder called Proton VPN, and I want to show you what's inside of that folder, and specifically the VPN.conf file. Now, this VPN.conf file is we'll be making our configuration updates, so we can specify either the range or individual IP addresses we would like to have included. Now, I recommend always placing a range here, and then below we can change the exemption, which you'll be able to remove specific IP addresses out of it. And that is all based on your preference. All right, but inside of here, we have quite a few options. Another one I want you to focus on is going to be the kill switch. The kill switch is important to make sure that there is no DNS leakage. So we do set that in the descriptions here. So we do set that to make sure that the connection is only available if the VPN service is running properly and as expected. We also have the black hole setting, which we'll talk about later. There is a bonus part to this video if you'd like to stick around for that. Now, let's open up the next file is going to be the run-vpn.sh. Now, this file is, I believe we create this, and I apologize, it's hard for me to remember because this is already done on my system. But if it is not there, obviously you just copy and paste it out of the GitHub repository. But I believe it is already there. You just want to make sure you modify the config file or the config entry so it points to the OVPN file or whatever file you downloaded from your service provider. And we will be modifying that one as well. So I'll show you that in just a second. All right, so here we go. So this is now going to be the OVPN file. This is what mine looks like. The biggest part is paying attention to the authentication line, where we are going to add the variable, well, I guess what's the word I'm looking for? The directive. So the directive called auth-user-pass, and from here we will point it to the username and password file that we create. Now in this file, it is a very simple file. It is just the username on the first line, and you go down to the second line and enter your password provided from your service provider. We save that file, and then that is it. We will then make the run-vpn.sh file executable using the chmod space +x and then the path to the file, and we'll verify that it is now a different color. This should all be working just as you expected. The last step here is really about persistence per se, or let me say just rebooting, making sure that it does activate upon reboot. So that's what I mean by persistence. And in this case, we are setting up the run-vpn.sh file, which is the same name we just saw, but it's under a different part of the directory structures, directly under etc/split-vpn. Now, this file on my system is not configured the way it is in the tutorial, I guess, README for the GitHub. And in fact, I will show you what it's supposed to look like. But the reason why mine is not that way is because, for whatever reason, I could not get it working at the time, so I decided just to make a quick modification. And it works for me. So if it does, if it doesn't work for you, you can always do what I did. If it does work, then hey, you're good to go. All right, so from here, we have the curl command. Okay, and this curl command is going to be used to actually pull down the service package, and the service package is what we're going to put together so that upon reboot it can be executed automatically. So let's open this up. We'll cat it out, and the cat command will display the file. I want you to see what changes I did make, and honestly I believe it was defaulted this way, but if for any reason you created a different file, you created a different shell script to do your kick off the service, then you want to change where it says exec start equals, and put a path to the new file. But if you did everything I just showed you, or if you follow the documentation as is, this should be set up to run right out of the box. You should have no modifications needed. All right, y'all. So we'll save this. And of course, that is it. Nothing else needed. Now, if you'd like to see the testing I did to ensure it was working, you can check out my other video, the full concept video. But if not, enjoy your new split VPN setup on your UDMP Pro. And in the next video, just so you're aware, we'll be doing VLAN setups. So tune in for that. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe, you comment, and share. And if nothing else, I appreciate you, and we'll continue the journey together. Take care. Bye. All right, y'all. So you stuck around for the bonus feature. So the bonus feature here is going to be just adding the black holes. Now, the black holes are very simple. We're going to go into the network tab. We'll go down to routing. Now, I do want to tell you that my black hole settings, I guess entries, are grayed out because I wasn't that confident in how they work. And I tried it once before, ended up having something happen where the VPN did not start up properly and it ended up locking up my entire system. So I went in, and you're able to get around that by just logging into a hardwired system, going over to your management console, which you see here on the screen, and just disabling all the rules. Now, I don't know if Wi-Fi works the same way, but I know the hardwired one did work for me. All right, so that being said, we're just going to make these 4 entries, and these come directly out of the GitHub repository. We'll do create new entry. We'll create entry, and we'll make all of these entries here. So from here, we'll SSH back into the router, and then from there, we will go ahead and issue a status command to make sure it's running, and then we'll stop it. And after we stop it, we'll go ahead and issue a start again, and you are done. Everything's over. Thank you so much for sticking around for the bonus round, and we will check you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.